All right, Marina. Well, why don't you tell us all about urSwim? What do you guys do, and how did you start the company?
Awesome. So I founded urSwim about 10 years ago. I had always been a lifeguard, a swim instructor since a teenager. And from a very young age, I just recognized immediately the need and the demand for high quality swim instruction and high quality lifeguards. And it kind of put me on this journey while I was in college. And eventually I actually went through law school of just really kind of diving into the industry, always kind of tapping in to see what was going on. And it kind of just like never left me. And as soon as I had the opportunity, I launched urSwim, which consists of swim instruction and lifeguard staffing for both our consumers and our commercial clients.
All right, cool. Now, I know a little bit about what your company does, as you and I have met before, but I think there's another dimension to your company. I'd love for you to kind of talk about as a franchisee, how they go about or the facilities that they use, because it's not just people that are going to somebody's backyard and teaching their child how to swim.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was about really meeting the customer where they needed us. And we basically do that in three ways. First is our at-home swim instruction. So we have certified lifeguards and certified instructors that go to our customers' backyard pools. Next was our non-brick-and-mortar model, meaning that we leverage relationships with national fitness gyms, local community pools, and we put our swim program in those facilities.
So Marina, it sounds like you've been doing this for about 10 years, or I should say you were doing this for about 10 years before you started to franchise the business. What led you up to that moment that you decided, hey, this is something I can franchise?
Yeah, I think for me, as I began to scale our own corporate locations, I just knew that that business model really required an owner that was invested in the community and really wanted to deliver impact to the customers they were serving. And as I thought about how I would grow and how I wanted to kind of scale the concept, franchising felt like the right way to do it. So I really went back to my law school days. I delved into how to start a franchise, what it meant to be a franchisor, what type of capital I would need to really launch the brand, and sort of all the other resources I'd have to put together. And in 2022, I decided to go for it. And then we sold our first franchisee in 2023 and are looking forward to bringing on new amazing franchisees to our organization.
Congrats. And as you probably found out, you realize you're no longer in the swim school business, right? You're in the franchise business.
Yeah, I mean, they say it and, you try to prepare as best as you can. I have been an owner and operator for, like you said, about 10 years. So I was very comfortable being an entrepreneur and, leading my own organization. But when you put your franchisor hat on, it really becomes about delivering support to the franchisee. There's something in me that always truly loved mentoring my staff and mentoring the people around me. So having the opportunity to provide support to the franchisee is probably one of the best parts of being a franchisor. I have learned a lot in my 1 year of being a franchisor, but it has truly been such a rewarding process. And I am so looking forward to, expanding and learning sort of what's required to really take the brand to the next level.
Sure. Well, now you're able to impact so many more people, of course, by having a franchise owner doing that work and them also getting the reward of being a franchise owner.
Oh, I know. I say it all the time. I think 10 years ago, I really kind of started at franchising. I probably would have been definitely would have been an amazing franchisee. Anytime someone's like, hey, I'm really interested in launching a brand, I'm always advocating for have you considered buying a franchise? Because the type of support, the type of resources, the type of leverage a really strong organization has is going to pay tenfold in the future versus just kind of bootstrapping from the beginning, which was my experience.
Right.
So to your point, yes, franchising really does create such an impact if done correctly.
Yeah, for sure. Well, one of the things I think you did many things you did fantastic, but one of the things that I want to point out is in terms of opening the company-owned locations first, to want to make sure that this is something that works and you can repeat it. So I understand you've got, what, 3 corporate locations, right? 2 in Long Island, and then you open 1 in Connecticut. So would you share with the audience, why did you pick the one in Connecticut?
Yeah, for us, it was about really understanding how the business model function in different marketplaces. So again, I consider our corporate locations like that's where we're doing our R&D. That's where we're going to make those mistakes so our franchisee doesn't have to. And we spent 10 years retooling the system so that I felt comfortable putting my name on the brand and ultimately, scaling it as a franchise. So for us, Connecticut specifically, I had a mentor tell me, Marina, you have to make sure this is not lightning in a box. Maybe this is just something that really resonates in the Long Island community and won't resonate outside your geographic area. I knew in my gut that wasn't the case. So I wanted to prove him wrong. And I decided to launch in Connecticut. And we've been super successful there. And our first franchisee actually owns a Connecticut location. So swimming is something at the industry level that parents do not sacrifice for their children. Drowning is the leading a cause of accidental death for children under the age of 12. So there's such a demand in our space. There's plenty of room for new competitors to enter because the demand is just too large.
Yeah, no, you're providing a great service. And there are a lot of swim schools, and there's a lot of swim school franchise as well. So Marina, how have you figured out how to differentiate yourself?
Yeah, so again, we are a non-brick-and-mortar franchise. So what that means is the investment for a franchisee is going to be between $75,000 and $100,000. So for us, it was like, how do we scale efficiently and quickly? And, unfortunately, with the brick-and-mortar swim school models, they are extremely costly. And there's a lot of maintenance, associated with operating a swim school. For us, it was about let's focus less on the operational aspects and the mechanics of a pool. And let's really focus and dial down on our curriculum, our educators, our coaches. Like, how do we improve their skills, their resources, and, make sure that our customer is really getting, a top tier instructor. And we found that leveraging these existing facilities allows us to really invest our resources in other places that perhaps the brick and mortars, don't have access to. The other thing that I would say that makes us, different than those in our category, so the non-brick and mortar swim school concepts, is that we have leveraged putting lifeguards in commercial pools. It is such a need, and we have the skills to really curate that talent pool. So what we've discovered is we can take our lifeguards, our swim instructors, and, have them work out of a commercial pool like an HOA, a hotel, and provide such a benefit to those commercial clients who really are out of their comfort zone in trying to hire, certify, and train that staff. So for us here, it's really about our consumers. Those are the ones, that we're teaching swim instruction to, and our commercial clients. Those are the businesses that we're providing those lifeguards and those turnkey swim programs so they can focus on all the other things that make their businesses unique to them and great.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.